this will be in your top 5 you've played. You definitely need your A game playing at Hollinwell. It's a shoot well, you do anyway. I'm telling you now, I know your whole brand is top 10 and 10, that's 110. Just put a bit of that on it.
We've got the signature hole as being hole 18.
I'm going to put it out there. I think I've got this in the bag.
To do what we're trying to do, you can't do that in America. You just can't do it.
Episode 45, the Hollinwell Golf Club preview. There are no perfect men in the world, only perfect intentions. Does anybody know which film that quote is from? Well, before you guess, I'm going to tell you it's from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
I was about to say that.
And did you know that one?
Yeah.
Amazing. I couldn't have planned that any better. Now, I only bring that up because we're heading to Robin Hood country and when we're playing Hollinwell Golf Club. Now, it's a club that's steeped in a surprising amount of history, and it's a history we will explore later. And to boot, the course looks like an absolute crackerjack. So we chose it as our first ever Top 110 Society Day. In this episode, we also have 2 great guests, bit of a bonus, joining us. But before we carry on, I'd just like to point out that when we look at the back-end stats of our podcast and our videos, most of the people watching and listening haven't actually hit the like or subscribe button. Now, it would be a massive favour to ask if you could do that. It doesn't cost you anything, but it just means we can do things like expand our production, we can get bigger and better guests on, and we have a little bit more clout with the clubs for maybe getting stuff like interviews with pros and club presidents and people like that. So if you just hit like or subscribe, that would be wonderful. Now, going back to the episode, we've got the 2 guests that I mentioned before, and that is Lee and Alex. So this is the first ever preview you guys have helped me with, and I really hope you enjoy it. And I think the old adage is that you never forget your first time. So what we'll do today, and the structure of our episode is, because I'm not used to having to explain that, but we're going to run through some history and some notable things that I've found out about the club. We'll analyse some of the course characteristics, and then we'll tell you what the signature hole challenge is, the side bet is, because Jim has actually sent that directly to Lee. But before that, I think we should start with some intros. Now, if you've listened to our podcast before, you will know Lee. Lee is navigating golf through his Harb 7 golf brand. So, hello, Lee. Could you perhaps tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, cheers, Nish. Nice to meet you, Alex. So I've had Harb 7 golf probably for about 5 or 6 years now. Bit of a slow burner. It was never meant to be anything special. Just really following my journey from starting out as a 28 handicapper and trying to work my way down. I stick videos on of rounds that I play and then just random little stuff as well. Perhaps a trip down the driving range, a couple of good shots, but I do like to show the bad ones, seems to get more views. But yeah, just continuing to show my journeys. And I think I might have mentioned something I was starting on the last podcast I did with you, which was quite a while ago now, which was to help one of our mates out. But people that have perhaps gone on and seen my profile are probably thinking, why the bloody hell are you doing push-ups every day? But I'm continuing to do 100 push-ups a day for 100 days and sticking that on there. And that's really for accountability as well. So throwing a little bit of golf content in there every now and again, because I've not actually got out loads, but really looking forward to Hollinwell next week.
It's a fitness handle now, isn't it? Harb 7 golf. That's what
much, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's got me loads more views, likes, and people commenting. So I might just come up with another.
Mostly the female variety, isn't it? I think Harb's female variety. Hide those likes. Great, thanks, Lee. And Alex, you were our first ever legit, not actually my friend, but hopefully my friend, guest. And you honestly, you're an amazing guest. Like, I remember that chat like it was yesterday. There's lots of stuff I still holding my head and take it around when I go around. Now, you've adopted the top 100 golf guru moniker, and perhaps you can tell us a little bit about that, because that was actually the reason that we got you on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it became by accident. COVID, dark nights, probably drinking too much, looking through just like lists and dreaming about golf, and saw that there were these top 100 lists. Looked through, didn't know many of the golf courses, play a few, and then spoke to my grandpa, and then he's like, yeah, that's a good one. And it went from there, and I basically became a bit obsessed with it, as you probably can tell if you follow me. But I love it. I like the same how you boys started, really. I wanted to do it in a certain period of time. I try and do 10 a year if I can. I've done 51 since June 2020. So I've done
Amazing.
a fair amount. And yeah, it's just a lovely way of, I don't know, doing something outside of work and playing golf, and that's gone on to online. And I was taking photos. Thing is, like, I'm not a good enough photographer to match like some of the great guys that are online. So I started doing reels this year. My first one was at Glen Eagles, and the good and bad thing with this is that I now do this, and all of my mates are becoming like my content creators on the golf course, which is bad for them. But the good thing is it's meant that I've had to go back and play courses, because I'm like, well, I've got to do Ganton and like Hollinwell. I'm gutted I can't be with you boys next Friday, because I would have absolutely loved to have done a reel there. But I try and do it in 1:20 on Instagram and really do it for the purists. And then on TikTok, which is the same handle, Top 100 Golf Guru, I'm now doing a minute, and I just put my favorite music behind it, and I just do it really quickly, and it's great. I love it. Absolutely love it. I've got my own content schedule now. Me and ChatGPT are doing that all the time, and I really hope it continues. And there's some tricky courses out there that I'm going to need to get on, but I'm making a lot of friends in the community, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Together we will do it, Alex.
We'll do it.
We're
We'll do it.
determined to do it. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Glen Eagles there when you sort of started doing it. So we missed each other at Glen Eagles by a week.
We
it
did.
Now, didn't it?
Yeah.
You went a week before, and then we were up the week after. It was like, this is amazing.
I know.
How's that happened? What a place that was.
Yeah, I mean, as I think I said to you when we first spoke, the Glen Eagles has always been an absolute like boyhood dream for me. And I got up there, and it was absolutely everything that I wanted it to be and more. And a couple of my mates really made it special. It was my 40th, so whiskey, and there was a couple, gifts and stuff. It was really, really lovely. But yeah, I love the King's Course. I just fell in love with. I loved it. I mean, and getting an eagle on the 18th, so a Glen Eagle
mate.
was, and get it on camera. My wife came out and videoed me. She walked with me on the King's Course, didn't on the Queen's. And the fact that she videoed that part on the 18th, and that's my old Scotty Cameron that is now not being used. I think that's the only part I ever made with it as well.
It needs to be framed, doesn't it? That's
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So they cost a lot of money, but they're hard to use.
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's something about that Scotty. I know. I'm not dissing on Scotty because I know they're great, but yeah, I couldn't get on with that thing. Other than an eagle on Glen Eagle, so I'd take that all day.
That's it. It's perfect excuse to retire it.
Big stick, yeah.
If I need any excuse to buy a new golf club, I'm taking it, or buying any golf gear, to be perfectly honest with you.
Staying on that, someone was telling me today, I've got a 2-iron now, and one of my mates who's really good, he said, he was like, yeah, but obviously, I've got the 2-iron now. All the boys at Wentworth were using them last week. So he's got a Strixon. He saw the boys using it. He's like, but I'm thinking I'm going to get my 7-wood out for the winter. I was like, what, is that a thing? He said, yeah. You don't have a 2-iron in the winter. You have a... So I was like, right, okay. So last night, I'm looking at, like, do I get a forward? Like, I'm looking at degrees, like trying to work out how far they can go. But yeah, apparently that's a thing for us good golfers, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and
I've got a bag that goes up to a 5-iron, and that's your lot.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think there's been a bit of chat on the, so we've sort of brushed on it, skirted around it a little bit, but this is our first ever Top 110 Golf Society Day. Anybody, it's completely free to join us. You can join us whenever you like. You just sign up on our website, and maybe you can be part of. There's a couple of great events we've got coming up next year that we've got irons in the fire with, but it's totally informal. Like we're just having a good crack on the group and stuff like that. So we've been talking about whole flyovers and things like that. I think there's been a lot of talk of keeping the woods in the bag for Hollinwell. Yeah. So I think maybe getting. I might get my old 2-iron that I learned how to play on. I mean, I looked at that golf club the other day. My golf is so much better than it was when I obviously first started playing naturally, and that's just a very obvious thing to say. But I tried hitting that at the range the other day. It was like vibrations through my hand.
Really?
I was just like, I can't do this. It was absolutely. It was a terrible golf club, to be honest. And I can't believe. I must call him out on it. My dad made me learn on him. He was like, "This will do you good." There were blades and all this sort of stuff. I was like, "No, this is the worst thing ever," and I still can't hit them. With
no.
all the, I think the new technologies changed everything for me now.
Is that painful hands through the winter, Nish?
Oh, mate, I've got. So there's a driving range right near our house. Cranford Golf Centre, it was called. Centre was a bit like loose term, and I mean, yeah, just winter nights. I mean, in summer you were also on the course, weren't you? But winter nights on those hard rubber mats. Oh, bad memories. Bad memories. Mostly of slicing it. But there you go. Now, this course is, I think we're in for a real treat. In fact, I know we're in for a real treat. So, the first thing that struck me about all of this when I was learning about Hollinwell, and this is one of the reasons I've got Alex on, because he can confirm or completely debunk all my little views on it. One of the first things I heard was that it's got an incredibly long driveway leading up to it, and then suddenly, out of these trees, and as you're driving down the road, this amazing old clubhouse emerges to greet you into the club. And I just think that is so. Maybe it's my old age, I don't know, but that's so golf romantic for me. Like, I love that lead up to, like, it's not just like crash bang wallop, you're there. Like, there's a bit of like, when is it going to be there? When's it going to be there? All that kind of leading up to it. I can't wait for it. Is that right? And Alex,
It's unbelievable. It's similar to Ganton because Ganton's got the drive down as well. But I do think Hollinwell is every time I think about Hollinwell, I go, oh, is that in my top 10? And then it sort of doesn't. And then I keep coming back when you say that, I go, yeah, it probably should be. Because there's so many special parts about this golf course and golf club. But yeah, the drive down, when you come in, you'll see there's like a stone wall where it's got Hollinwell like etched in the stone and like beautiful flowers. You've got to take a photo of that. And then you drive down and it's magical. Like, it's unbelievable. The land it's on is unbelievable.
yes, it's really spacious, isn't it? Like, there's loads of room around it and things like that. And it feels like that makes it a special event, doesn't it?
It's so dramatic, and I think you'll see this, like, especially on the back nine. Well, even on the third hole, you basically get quite high up, and you're playing down to the clubhouse, and you do that again on 18. But then when you come round to like 16, it's so dramatic when you see. It's almost like it's in a like a, I don't know what it's called. Like, it's like a bowl. Like, it's like, there's some stories I'll tell you in a minute, but you can really feel like you really are in a bowl, and you just look at these dramatic like pines up, and I don't know if they are pines, but they look like pines to me. But yeah, it's unbelievable. And then there's loads of little small holes and really quirky holes, and there's like but I don't know, I can't remember what holes they are. Maybe like 13, 14, maybe before that actually. I think it's actually 10, 9 and 10, 10. Maybe 10 is like one of the smallest ones. It's just really, it's quality, absolutely quality. You just got to pick your way around, but you are in for an absolute treat with Hollinwell. I love it.
Is the whole course pretty undulated?
I don't know if it's undulated. I think there's definitely some holes where you're like 16. You're basically, if you go down one way, you are, but if you can go for the green, you're not. It's a little bit undulating, but you've got to pick your way around the back nine more. You're basically playing uphill and downhill quite a lot, and so it's not the undulating fairways. It's just mammoth, and you're looking up and down, and shot choices are really important. Yeah, you definitely need your A game playing Hollywood. It's a shoot well, you do anyway, but you would enjoy it if you don't. So don't worry.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because I mean, these things. Me and Lee were having a little chat earlier today, and we were looking at the website and things like that, trying to get to learn the course. Now, I do have to bring this out. This has become a bit of a thing in these episodes now because I do websites on the side. So
Right,
that is my main. I'll do this on the side. Sorry, I should rephrase that. Really, shouldn't I? Whoops. I hope the wife isn't listening. But yeah, in fact, I know she isn't listening. It's fine. But yeah, so I've started really absorbing how these websites are put together now, and a lot of them are quite identikit. You have a few whole flyovers and things like that, and it's all like very whimsical and all this sort of stuff. And then like this one, I really really liked for a
so
few
good.
reasons. Like, they give you strategy on the whole, guys. They give you a high handicap and a low handicap strategy. Obviously, low's just closed all the time. We're all on the high handicapper ones. You've also got all these pretty decent fly that most do now that have that. But I thought the pictures are really good because there's sometimes different times of year and things like that. So it gives you a bit of an idea as to what you're going to be faced with at the tee. And it looked to me like it had a bit of a feel of Have you played Hindhead?
No, not yet actually.
So Hindhead is a wonderful golf course. Like, Quirky probably covers it a little bit, quite unconventional. But this front nine, everything is in valleys.
Yeah, I've seen the shot of it down.
Yeah, and that looks on the tee box really, really intimidating.
Mm.
And now I played it well, and I kept it quite straight in a shock horror move, but that makes it so much easier. But it wasn't like daunting. When he got there, you saw the pictures, and I was like, oh my god, like we really have to keep it straight. But actually, when he got there, sometimes the banking was so steep that you just get a good kick, and it would kick out. So
Mm.
it was kind of fair in that respect. And there are a few holes that Hollinwell that sort of looked a little bit similar to that, where you got this. I mean, maybe not quite as steep, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to
banking on the
think.
side.
I mean, my favourite hole at Hollinwell is the 11th,
Yeah,
and that's the one that plays like in a valley, but you're playing uphill. It's I love it. I think it's
amazing.
very. It reminds me of St Enodoc, and I think that's why I love it so much.
Yeah,
Because it's really quirky and it feels like it's just been built into what the land was there. But yeah, I mean, as I say, it's not undulating. It doesn't feel like undulating fairways. I basically how I got to Hollinwell is I started looking after golfers. I think I told you this last time.
yeah.
And one of the boys was in final qualifying, so I was like, right, let's go. And I'm like, I can swear on this podcast, can't I?
Of course you can.
Right, okay. I'm like,
Absolutely.
yeah, pig. I was like a pig in shit at this
Yeah.
place. Like, we got
That's
there.
moderate. Don't worry about that.
You've got everyone turning up, all these boys there. One of my mates who's a member of Sunningdale was on the reserve, and you could see that he was like getting ready for it. The day was unbelievable, and I got to walk Hollinwell twice before I played it, and I think that made it even more special because I was ready and waiting for the holes. Obviously, when you're watching the pros do it, they play it differently to us. But you really have got to pick your way around because I think this. I can't remember the scores when they were the final qualifying there, but it was nothing mental, like 2 unders, like 3 under maybe maximum.
Okay.
Obviously they're playing the back tees, but
Yeah.
when I got to walk it twice, I always said I'm going to come back here and play it. And I played it last year with a member who's a really lovely boy called James, I'm actually I'm going to let you into a secret. So I was going away with my family, and one of my best mates, Jason, who's an amazing golfer, going away with his family, Centre Parks. And I was like, well, we're going to share with
Forest,
go, because I know Hollinwell's there. So we organised that we would go and play golf on the Wednesday. And we got a lovely boy called James who hosted us and his mate. And we had an unbelievable 4-ball. The guest rate, I won't say, I don't know if I can, it's 30 quid. I mean, 30 quid is unbelievable to go. The value is just a joke. But both times I've been, the welcome is brilliant. It's so much fun. I think if I could be a country member anywhere, I'd actually be a country member there so far from the journey I've been on.
So
that good.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Alex. Now, I know because I've had people messaging me and stuff like that. I know we've got a lot of people who are uninitiated with some golfing lingo.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what a country member is, but maybe you can enlighten us as to what a country member is.
So a country member is where you're a legitimate member of a golf club, but you have to live usually as the crow flies at least 50 miles away. Those prices are usually cheaper as well. They're subsidized because of that, but you can't take the piss. You can't be rocking up every week and playing, but I live 50 miles away. So some of these big courses have them. Like, I've got friends of mine that are country members at places. I'm actually a country member of St Enodoc. But to get in, you still have to go through the rigmarole of getting into a big golf course. But it just means that you can be a member. I think I pay a slightly reduced rate. St Enodoc is quite reasonably priced anyway. But for some of these bigger courses, like I think like Birkdale, someone told me it was like 1,800 quid or something to be a country member, which sounds like a lot of money, but comparable to what a member that's playing there the whole time, it's actually not that bad. So yeah, that's what a country member means basically. And Hollinwell it's in a bit of a weird part of England that I can't imagine it's a destination place for holidays and stuff. So, but yeah, I think even the guy I was playing with, I think he was a country member. And
what are you trying to say about Nottingham? I mean, wonderful.
Hey, I work for a lot of people from Nottingham. Nottingham is an awesome place. I just it's not quite.
Nottingham's a brilliant night out.
Costa del Nottingham is not really a thing. Yeah, Nottingham is a good night out. Yeah, it is.
It's a cracking night out. Now, Hollinwell, we do know, and we are expecting a great course because it is ranked on our list. It's 47th. That's when we took our snapshot list, which is right in the meat of the list, and it's sandwiched between Sillerton Solway, which we played, but everyone says real, gem of a course in that top 100 list. You got to make an effort to go and play there, and it's one place above Wentworth, which is
Okay.
obviously they've just been playing the
Yeah.
BMW Championships at. So it's in great company as a golf
Yeah.
course. And even though these things are very subjective, and obviously we're finding that you look at the list and you go, I've got no idea how that course I've just played is that number on that list. Whether that's good or bad, it's debatable. But
Mm.
great company to have there. And one of the things that you start getting then is an idea of the history of this place. So I will say, and you think you said it in the early part of the episode, Alex, that not really a course I had heard of. Now, that's not saying much. There's a lot of golf courses I've not heard of. However, even Chris said he'd not really heard it because he was like, "Where is it?" Like, yeah, it's not really ever come up, which I was
Right.
surprised about because when you start going through the history, it's like there's quite a lot that's gone on there. So, club established in 1887, and there were at the time that it was established, there were only 36 golf courses, forget clubs, but golf
Wow.
courses in England at that time. That was it. So it's dead early in its inception in terms of sort of English golf, and it was sort of it was called the Nottingham Golf Club at that time, but then it moved to its current location in 1901, and I've then got a little bit of jump forward in 1924. So we talked about the clubhouse before, this magnificent old building. That's actually the second iteration of the clubhouse. So the first clubhouse burned down in 1924, and I love this sort of stuff. The only surviving relic from that clubhouse burning down was a bronze plaque that was commemorating the 12 members who gave their lives in World War One.
Wow.
Now, not great that they gave their lives, of course, but how magnificent is it that that's the one surviving thing? You've
Amazing.
got it up in the lounge fireplace. There is not a chance I'm going there and not taking a picture of that because
Yeah, definitely.
that's the sort of stuff. I grew up in a school where we'd lost both wars, we'd lost pupils, and it was always a big thing in our school that was brought about or brought into our awareness. So, very much not looking forward to is the wrong phrase, if you know, but you know what I mean. Like it's
Yeah.
a history that I enjoy and I like. And then going a bit further back now, so we're in Robin Hood country, which is part of the reason for my intro. Which amazing, Alex. By the way, you spotting that quote.
One of my favourite films.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Brilliant. Which is weird because you sort of feel wrong saying that because it's just
I mean, it is pure cheese, but yeah, it's
it
still.
was our childhood. Like it
Yeah.
was on the TV all the time. Kevin bloody Costner, eh?
Mm.
And then he went and did Tin Cup, which was
I was
amazing.
about to say that's why I think everyone likes it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you've played the golf course, so and
Yeah.
I've heard about this on a few other podcasts as well. So at the back of the second green,
I'll
there
put
is
that on
a
my list
hill.
of things to talk to you about. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
quality.
there's a hill, and it's called Robin Hood Seat because legend has it that Robin Hood sat on the hillside rock above what is now the second green. Now, who's buying that? I am not buying that in any way, shape, or form. However,
Probably not.
what a great story that is.
I just
What a
think
great story.
that's almost like the magic of when you get there and you're in this bowl and you're looking around. That's James told me that story, and I'd already walked it twice, and I was like, "This is pretty special." But it was stories like that that really make you feel like I get off on that stuff in terms of like, "Oh
Correct.
wow, this is where someone's been," and obviously I don't know if that's true or not, but it is a really really special place, and that sort of I'd love to play it like a twilight round. I'd love to do that, or an autumn round actually, and just I can imagine there's like a real eeriness about the whole place because it's in the middle of bloody nowhere, and you go down that long driveway and you're in this, and nothing's touching you. You can't hear anything. So yeah, I can imagine that the story isn't true, but when you're there and the legend has it, yeah.
I'm all over that sort of stuff now. I've got a bit of a flavour of it when we went up to Scotland, and
Yeah.
some of the tall tales that come out of about the courses there. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care if it's true. I just want it to be true.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
yeah, absolutely brilliant. And I think that's what makes this game that we all talk about so passionately. I mean, that's what makes it so great. And then
Yeah.
on the side of the 8th tee, there's a well.
The
Apparently, you can
Hollinwell.
still drink from. You can
Yeah, I've
still
done
drink
it. I've
and
done
get
it
down
every
there.
time.
Have you done that?
I've done it every time. Yeah.
There's a cup. There's a cup. Is that right? Is that a thing?
There is a
Fair
cup.
to-
I didn't drink out the cup. filled me water up.
Yeah.
I was
pretty
absolutely sure
COVID-friendly
I was
now,
going
is
to be
it?
shitting myself like 3 holes later, but I didn't. It's fine.
Right, I'm doing it. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
do
doing
it.
it. Harbs, you're in my group. You can film me doing it.
But you take the
Yeah,
Imodium in the
good.
bag
As long as
anyway,
I can
right?
have a drink as well. I've heard Alex is 65. He's been drinking from that well a few times.
That's it.
Now, the few other things, there's more recent history, which I do like to sort of delve into. It held final open qualifying in 2022, which is presumably that was when
That's
you
the
were
one I
there,
was at. Yeah.
Alex. Amazing. And that was for the 150th Open at St Andrews, so a big deal getting that.
Mm.
But you obviously would have been I presume they've obviously got an open rota, and I wonder if they've got a final open qualifying venue rota as well, and it's a turn. But if it's not, for it to go to Hollinwell, that's a pretty big feather in the cap there.
Yeah, I think they change it every 6 years, I think,
Right.
or 5 years. And that it moved from Hollinwell to Burnham and Barrow. I'm pretty sure that's where it went to after that. That was like and whatever else this year. I can't think what else. Dundonald,
Because it's at West Lancs. It's been at
West
West
Lancs, yeah,
Lancs this
Dundonald,
year.
Burnham and Barrow, and is it Princes maybe or St
Yeah.
Paul's? I can't remember where it was, but yeah, but at that time that was the last one there, and yes, it was 150th. And Nick, who I looked after, who I love dearly, he won't mind me saying, we stood on the 15th tee. He got really unlucky on 14, and you'll see it when you play 14. You basically play this unbelievable par 3 on 13. You're just getting off the high of that, and then you play 14. Behind the green, there is absolute fuckery. Do not go long on 14. Because
Right.
he went
No
in
tip.
there and it basically almost ruined the round. I think he got like a bogey.
Oh,
It's
shit.
like, okay, we still got this. And then we played. I looked at this, and at that point, I was like, mate, looked at Ben, his caddy, who's his coach and my coach as well. I was like, we got a chance here, 150th. Like, I'm thinking like booking the flights.
Yeah.
And yeah, he shanked it on the next hole.
Isn't it funny
But
that enters your mind and then that's what happens?
I don't know if it entered his mind or not, but that boy doesn't hit shots like that. And it was just like absolute
What's
freak.
happened?
Yeah, out of nowhere. I mean, he even laughed. He went, "What the fuck was that?" I was like, "I don't know, mate. Like, I don't know." Well, actually, I do know because I seem to shank my way around golf courses at the minute. But
Yeah, I mean it's a word that's crept into Chris's
just say it
lexicon
how it is.
recently.
They're shanks. What like?
Oh mate, he's yeah. I mean, there's a couple of times that he's done it, and I've just been looked at him. I've gone, oh, it's a bit unlucky, mate. And he went, no, it wasn't. It was shit. It was just a shank. Like you can
Yeah,
say
it's
the
awful.
word. It was a shank. I was like, all right, it was a shank, and you're shit. I
Yeah,
can't.
you just got to live with them.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
yeah. The final qualifier, 2022. Yeah,
Amazing. Now they also this claim to fame for Hollinwell. Now I didn't know this, but it's a thing. They had a club professional who actually ended up playing in the Ryder Cup. It's a chap called Brian Waits, and he was the very last golf club pro to play in the
that's
Ryder Cup. He
quality.
was 43 at the time. He was the oldest member of the team. I'm
Young.
just going to run you through some names here of who was on that team. Nick Faldo, Sam Torrance, Sandy Lyle, who's won a Brabazon trophy at Hollinwell, Tony Jacklin, Seve, Ian Woosnam, Justin Langer, and Ken Brown. I mean,
Can I?
everybody
What
knows
are we
all of those
going?
names, right?
Are we going 81?
Oh God, now you've thrown me.
Oh, sorry, mate.
I didn't copy and paste that information.
I know, but I'm probably definitely wrong anyway. Don't worry.
I think it. I mean, it's
But I'm gonna Google it.
late 80. I'm going to go with 87.
Okay, yeah, the 81 does feel a bit early, doesn't it?
Yeah, mate, I'm going to say maybe
I
87.
don't know, 44 years. Oh, yeah, maybe.
Just because it's got Woozy
What was the
and
fella's name? What was the golfer's name?
Brian Waits, Waites. So this is a great live fact checking. I'm going to chuck out 87. That's probably because I've read it and then I've not quite written it down. But they've got on the website with a history bit, I think it's worth checking out. And I love this sort of stuff. They've got really old pictures on the website and people playing at Hollinwell, and that includes friends of the podcast, Harry Varden and Ted Ray. We brought them up before. Becoming a bit of a Harry Varden fanboy now since our trip to Ganson. And again, flipping back to more recent history, Matt Fitzpatrick, who we all wish the very best of to next week in the Ryder Cup. He won the Boys Amateur Championship in 2012. And obviously I mentioned Sandy Lyle won the Brabazon trophy there in 1975. It was Sandy Lyle won. So yeah, so it wouldn't have been just 6 years later in the Ryder Cup, but
83.
83. In the middle it was, pretty
Close.
much. Yeah, very close. Close but no cigar. And now, how this golf club started, and this is another thing I'm starting to pick up now, having been up to Scotland. So, the chap called John Dolman, who was from a very famous golfing family up in a place called Musselburgh in Scotland, moved into this area in 1864 and started playing golf. So the Muslim must have been like, what the hell is this guy doing? But that's what spread golf down into England. It was Scottish
Wow.
people come in. We just want to still play the game that we play up in Scotland. We want to do it down here. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Really, when you sort of
Unbelievable.
start thinking about that, and it's like there was no like, "What are you doing? You absolute nutter! Like, we're not going to let you do this. This is going to frustrate people for the next 160 years." You know, it's like,
Mm.
"No, crack on, mate. Yeah, let's make you a golf course." Now, so much so that at one point, after this club had been formed and then it moved to Bulwell Forest and things like that, they actually made the what is it called now? The Great Central Railway Company actually made a train station in Bulwell Forest for the golf club to transport members. Now, initially, because we're used to multi-mode transport, I was like, they built a train station. But then in that day and age, that was the only way to get around. Like, there
Yeah.
was no other way to travel. So they needed to be near golf courses. And, we went up to Glen Eagles. We mentioned that before. And there's a station right near Glen Eagles. So you can get there and then walk over. But this station was so part of this golf course that in 1902, they installed a phone line at the signal box so they could ring up to the club to let them know that members were coming to go and play golf.
Amazing.
I mean, again, we sort of think, oh, great, BT guy's going to come round and attach a phone. I was like, there's a big undertaking in 1902 and probably the cost involved in that to actually install that kind of technology, I suppose. Uh, and then it is designed by Willie Park Jr. Now, Willie Park Jr.'s name came up in our Gullen preview. And again, these names become familiar as you're going around.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, the courses that I've played that Willie Park Jr. has had a hand in or anything like that have all been incredible to play. So you obviously had a
Hmm.
really good eye for a golf course.
Yeah, I
And in
mean,
Scottish, so
you can really, I think you can start when you start playing. The more you play, the more you realize there's maybe like 6 like main architects, and you can start seeing what they do. Like Colt is the most obvious one. You
yeah,
can really see when he's doing something. But yeah, I don't know, Willie Park. Maybe there's like similarities between Sunningdale and Hollinwell in
I've heard a lot
places.
of comparisons with Sunningdale
Oh,
for
really?
Hollinwell.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Great.
There's a lot of people saying it's up there in that kind of company.
Right.
Um, my last little bit of history, and I think this is quite an important one because of what I'm about to tell you. But in 1913, Hollinwell, written Hollywood here, but in Hollinwell, they played the inaugural Ladies Open English Championships. Now, doesn't sound significant, but in 1913, that is a massive, massive thing. Big feather in the cap for Hollinwell, progressive golf club. We talked about it with West Langs. That was one of the first ever women's members golf clubs kind of thing, and they allowed everybody
Mm.
on the course. That's a really big deal. And I read stuff like that, and immediately I get a good. I know we're talking 115 years ago, but I get a good vibe because I think the DNA of the club is it's inclusive, it's for people to come and play, and you're going to have a good welcome, and everybody's allowed to come and play in this golf course, and I love stuff like that. You can get the opposite vibe sometimes. I'm not saying that they're saying women can't play on the golf course.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but it's huge that kind of a degree of history.
Yeah, and as you're finding, mate, as you go around and start playing these golf courses, you don't get good welcomes everywhere.
That is absolutely true. Yeah, and I think even when you're on your best schmoozing, and Harbs has probably been on the not the receiving end of it. I don't think I've ever tried to schmooze you. Now the course, and we probably should bring it back to the course a little bit now. So we are, Alex. Thank you very much. Because of you, we're mega excited. We already were. I mean, we're excited about the day anyway. 7 lads getting in a minibus from Manchester coming down to go and play Hollinwell. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, does it?
Mm.
But things like it's got a sandy base and it's on sandstone, so it plays well all year round. I mean, that bodes well because we've had a bit
Yeah.
of a wet patch. Obviously, I mentioned that we've got this sort of low and high handicap strategy, and I think it feels like there's a bit of care and attention gone into your experience on the day. And I've definitely got that. So, a chap called Michael, I've been talking to, who's the assistant manager there, who's been arranging everything for us. And what a top guy he is. Like he is, they're going through some restructuring at the club at the minute, so he's a bit snowed under with extra work. But if I email him, if I don't get any response within an hour, like I think something's wrong. He's been that good. I
Really?
mean, how good is that? Just puts you in a good mood straight away,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
it?
does. Well, you're making a podcast talking positively about it, so it's great.
Of course you do. Yeah, absolutely. So now one thing I did want to ask you about, I've heard rumours about this 18th finishing hole, Alex, that it's one of the best finishing holes around.
Yeah, definitely.
What were your impressions? Yeah, okay.
Because
You're firing at the clubhouse, aren't you? I think
you're firing at the clubhouse. So say like 3 and 18, you're firing at the clubhouse. I think 18 is a par 4 though, whereas 3 is a par 5 from memory. Very similar. That is quite undulating, actually, Lee. Going back to that, there's definitely, you want to pick the left-hand side at 18 because it does come down. Or maybe that's 3. I can't remember. They're quite similar holes, basically.
It won't matter, Alex. We're not picking any spot. We're just hitting it and seeing where it lands.
Okay, fair enough.
Nobody in our group
hoping for a fairway.
Yeah, perfect. Actually, I can't remember what's on the left of 18. There's definitely water. I remember that. I'm sure.
It's not really something I've encountered on any courses yet, actually, but there is a little bit of water knocking around, isn't there?
Is there? I think it's
it's like, obviously there is off the side of the 8th tee, because that's where this well is, and there's a bit of a pond and things like that there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. On the 18, there's like on the left-hand side. But again, you'll be perfectly down the middle.
Like a little stream or something like that. Where I'm a member, we've got everything for a golf course that works for me. We've got hills, valleys, we've got streams, we've got trees, all that kind of thing. So
right,
all these noises coming at me, and then we've hit some links courses, and you're like, obviously everything's flat. I'm not. This isn't a criticism of it at all, but because it's a little bit, you could describe it as a little bit featureless, so to speak. You have to zone in on the beauty of the hole itself and how it's put together, but all of that really works for me. And there's a couple of shots I've seen from this course, and it looks like an absolute visual treat. I think
what's interesting about Hollinwell, and I think you could say this like you're talking about links. You hear about like going out and then coming back, or like links courses, because you're in this sort of. It's not even the bowl, but it's like it comes down. Let's say if you're looking in from this side, everything's up and it comes down. It would be quite easy just to play across it. But what I love is they play up and down it as well. Yeah. So you are playing across the land, but you're also playing up and down. That's why on 11, you're going up. And then that's why on 13, you're coming back down. And then on 15, you're going back up. And that's what I think is really dramatic about the golf course, is that they use the land and that really, really well in that sense. And yeah, I mean, it's on sand, so it's playable all year round as well. And I think I'd hate to see what like the drainage is like if it wasn't that, because of the undulation and that. I think it'd be an absolute nightmare.
I mean, I've heard again just from reading other people's thoughts on it, that it builds as well around. So the front nine's great, but like the back nine's the one. Is special. Yeah, really.
First hole is, I would say the first hole is up there as one of the most. What's the word? I can't even think of a word. You're like, how is that on this golf course? It doesn't, for me, it didn't make sense. I still think it's a. I'm not going to say it's a weak first hole, because it's not a weak first hole, because you could definitely get caught out, and the green complex is really nice. But you're like, oh, okay, like it's pretty straightforward. It's just straight down, and you can hit a driver. You're taking out some bunkers, or you can hit irons. Like, you do not have to hit driver in the first hole to be like swinging a 7-iron in, for example. And I think that's quite interesting. And then it starts.
Is it one of those where they've gone here, enjoy the first hole, walk off that first green thinking I'm going to nail it today, and then welcome to the rest of the course?
Yeah, welcome to 2 straight away. Like 2 is like 2 is a big bastard hole, and you have to be bloody. You can't be left on 2 from the drive. There's like bushes up on the right hand side. You've got to aim at it. We'll can aim at those, because assuming we're all like not going to hit like a pro.
Yeah.
But the pros, when we were playing like the second round, there was boys still hitting driver, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, you're going at danger. I get you're trying to take it out, but yeah, from 2, and that's where you'll get the Robin Hood sitting up on the rock.
Nice.
But yeah, then 3's brilliant. You've got this weird bit when you finish 3, you then basically walk right round the clubhouse to get to 4, and 4 is sneaky hard, I think.
Right.
So yeah, be careful
good.
for.
It's a good thing to watch out for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it an odd and even number thing? Because two seems like it was hard. Four's hard. Is it?
Yeah. 5 par 3, I think, and then you got 6 long par 5, 7
I
good
love the way you
short
started out. I
four.
just went, I don't remember any of these holes, and then
Yeah,
now
I
you're
know,
just
I know, I
basically
know.
walking us through the
Come on,
course. It's great. I love it. It's so good
come on, the
that
guru. I've got I've got to
exactly,
live up to it.
exactly. Got
I
this
think on
moniker to live up
7,
to.
someone told me a story last time we were there that they found there was like loads of trees on 7 that came in, and then they saw like aerial shots and they found like 2 bunkers. So they basically like took it back, and then those bunkers are now part of it. Love stuff like that because we keep talking at the
Just discovered
Addington.
them.
Yeah, they just discovered them through like aerial shots. I think you're seeing it at the Addington. I don't know if you played there or follow the general manager, who's brilliant. They basically just find that greens are shrinking, like golf courses are shrinking, especially green complexes. So yeah, you can find like gems, and I think
And
on
so,
the 7th hole they found 2
forgive me,
bunkers.
Alex. So shrinking from what perspective in terms of the
Mm.
way they're being
Yeah, but
managed
being like,
now?
yeah, so like green complexes, some of them are like a lot bigger, and they just, maybe an inch a year, like just starts getting like not mowed, and then it starts coming in,
Ah, I
and
see. I
then what you're
see.
finding now, because obviously we're in the era, which is like actually irritating for me. Like I'll go and play Birkdale, and then like, oh, this is the last weekend before they do this, and that. You're like, right, great. So I've got to come back and play it. We're in that era now where every single great golf course is having, Hawtree coming in and redoing the bunkers, or someone's coming in doing something else. We're definitely in that era, because I think if you were trying to do one of these lists in, 90s, or like even in the
Yeah,
2010s, you're playing it once going, cool, lovely, move on. But
done.
now
Yeah.
we're seeing golf courses change right in front of our eyes, and it's not bad. Like, it's all really good. I haven't played a golf course yet that's been touched. I mean, Birkdale's going to be interesting. Like, they raised like the floor of a fairway by like something stupid, like 10 foot or something. But that's going to be really interesting to see what
Well,
that's like.
it dropped in the rankings by 13 places, didn't it? On the
Did
official
it?
rankings. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's massive
Mm,
for a royal course, for an open rota course. Really one of the well-established in the top 10 big boys to
yeah,
drop that many places is phenomenal. So, I mean, again, you probably have picked up on this, that it's so subjective how these things are put together,
massively.
because that's just how it is. It's a human being making a judgment call on a golf course. You can have as many
Mate, I work in
criteria
music. I deal with subjective every single day.
every single day.
I
Yeah,
wish I just
and
sold washing machines. This one
and
works, that one doesn't.
and obviously, well, Alex, because I'm just again, I'm always impressed by the disc behind your head every time we come on. I love it, so good.
Thanks,
But yeah,
mate.
it's you're seeing all this stuff going on, and yeah, I mean that is interesting, isn't it? Did you right? Okay, so sorry, Harbs, I'm going to bore you here a little bit. This is top 100 player to top 100 player. How quickly were you starting to nerd out on golf course architecture when you started getting into this?
Um,
I'm
fairly
I'm
quickly,
getting there.
but I will say this: I've met a couple of top 100 boys that are on the list. They're lovely. I've met a couple of top 100 boys that just be like, shut the fuck up, mate. Like, honestly, just shut up. And I think that meeting those guys and seeing it's like everything, right? It's like if you're a fan of, I don't know, a band, and then you're like let's say Oasis, when you were trying to get tickets this year, you had to remember who the fucking drummer was, and then some people are like, that's so easy, but some people they don't even know that they have
Yeah,
I'm starting to find in top 100 there's layers, and the more I'm getting into it, the more I'm like, I don't want to be that. Like, I didn't get
yeah,
into this to be that guy. Like, I'll get
correct. Yeah,
into it to understand that I think Harry Colt likes to have his tabletop greens, or he likes to do a long par 4 and a short par 3 back.
yeah,
I'm cool
yeah.
with that. Like, me and you can have a beer and talk about that. But
That's interesting, isn't it?
when you start getting into like,
Routing and
I don't know, some of the other
yeah.
bollocks that these people talk about, and it does my nutting. It really does.
Well, what I find fascinating about it is that they sort of say we did an episode on this, by the way. It was about the criterion, and to be honest, I was none the wiser as to how these things are ranked.
Mm,
Also, Gareth, who's friend of the podcast, he's the chairman of memberships at Abu Dhabi, top guy.
okay.
I was due to play golf with him a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't quite work out. But he is now the Welsh panelist for top 100,
Right.
and having just spent an afternoon with him walking around a golf course, and he's like he's the chairman of membership at this golf course that we played at. He was still a giddy kid
Mm,
going and playing the golf course, and I thought when he got on the panel, I thought, that's going to stand you in good stead
mm.
because I think you can probably go a bit wanky with it, can't you?
I think the
When I was
panel
trying to.
guys. I mean, I know one boy who's is really lovely, and you can tell that he just loves his golf, and actually he doesn't care like how he plays, which is actually really nice. Like he really cares about the golf course and stuff.
Guilty as charged. I'm like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't
perfect.
affect me.
Okay, so I really enjoy his company because he's subjective with it, but like there's people that are on that panel that I know are online, and I see some of the stuff they come up with. I'm just like, right, cool.
Nah.
You talk about why golf gets a bad rep sometimes. Like you're like fully that guy. I'm all about it being fun and trying to enjoy it. And the golf guru thing came about because I was following the Guinness guru, right? And just that fella doesn't know anything more about Guinness than me or you do, but you sort of believed in the way he did it and the way he spoke about it. I loved that, and that's all I ever wanted to be a top 100 guy was to do stuff like this and give it to you honestly and say I guarantee my list is going to be because there's no bollocks around it in terms of like big boys club I've got to let Harry down the
I've
road
got to put that. Yeah.
like Woodall Spa shouldn't be anywhere near where it's at. Like
Agreed.
Walton Heath shouldn't be anywhere near where it's at. Like, I'll give it to you and that's just my honest assessment of where it's at.
It's
But the
interesting
same as
saying
like
about Woodall Spa. I was like, nah, that's not a.
because
It really
head
has
of
a
it's because it's
25.
head
It
of
was.
England golf because it's head of England golf. That's all it is. It's a good golf course. And I think what they
Yeah.
do with this stuff, and they irritate people, as I clearly now get irritated, is that you can say that is a hard golf course, is a really good golf course, but don't put it at 15. It's 15 on my list. Like
Is it?
it's
Yeah.
not
I mean, that's
15,
that
mate.
unjustified. That absolutely
It's
unjustified.
not. Like if it
and then you
was
go the
it's-
other end of the spectrum is we played Hindhead, and honestly we had an unbelievable day at
yeah,
Hindhead. The experience was great. The club was very friendly and all that kind of stuff. But I thought the course stood up because it grabbed your attention and kept your attention. There's some
yeah,
very unusual golf holes on that course, and it's very rare you walk off and you just go, do you know what? I want to crack at that again because I think
yeah,
I play this
absolutely.
hole a little bit differently. And we had a brilliant time playing that, and that was on our list is 91. And
Really.
I can't reconcile that
Do
with
you do
Woodall
the
Spa because
England or do you do UK and Ireland?
we did so it's the official top 100 UK and Ireland list.
Right. So that
Yeah,
Hindhead wasn't in my list. It was
right.
only in England. But this summer. So I've played so many now that I'm struggling. Like there have to be
Yeah,
trips. I've only
yeah,
got one more in the M25 to play. Then like that's done, and I think that's been hopefully my 10th this year. Touch wood. So I've had to go and play some of the ones that are just top 100 England on my list,
yeah,
and I'm playing them going this has got a shout. Like this should definitely be higher than it is. Camberley Heath, loved it. I thought it was so much fun. Really, really enjoyed it. I played Berkhamsted a couple of weeks ago. Like, okay, that
yeah,
one probably wouldn't get both of those. Probably wouldn't get UK and Ireland, but I thought they were really, really good fun. Whereas I've gone and played some UK and Ireland ones, and I'm like, this isn't it. This is
nah,
not the
it's not
level.
great.
This is not where it's at.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? We're nitpicking about some of the best courses in the country and stuff like that, but actually, yeah, there are definitely occasions where I've just gone, what's going on with these rankings?
But you said something a
I've
minute
got
ago, which I think is crucial to like being one of these lists. Is can you come off of it and can you remember? Like I'm going through now and walking through like my Rayman brain, looking at the golf course, going, "Yeah, I remember that, remember that."
Yeah, yeah.
But if you can't do that, I'm sorry. Why are you in the top 100?
Do you know what? That is, I think you stumbled across a very, very interesting, almost ranking criteria because we've played a couple of courses. I'm going to probably keep their names to
Yeah,
myself,
yeah, yeah,
but we
absolutely.
came up with a couple of courses, and me and Chris were in the car on the way back, and we always will make notes at that point because we know, like
Mm.
we do this right, and that kills brain cells. So there's no way we're going to remember this stuff. I'm going to try and remember the holes and anything highlights for us. And there are two golf courses we've played where we've come off and we both said, "Do you know what? I cannot remember that golf course. I remember
Mm.
the first tee and a few things. And if you hit got a par or a birdie or something like, you remember that, of
Yeah, of
course,
course, yeah.
or you sprayed it or whatever. or as a horror moment. But yeah, genuinely came off and went, oh, nah, that didn't do it for me. And we got a bit, because we've done 15 now. This is going to be number 16, Hollinwell. And because at that time we probably were still within our top sort of 12 courses that we'd played. And that kind of put the frighteners on us, because we went, fuck, does that mean like 1 in 6 we're going to come off and go, not happy with that one. That wasn't a good course for me.
I think it's
And
the biggest issue that you've got to have. I mean, you've done bloody well, mate, by the way, because last time we played, you'd done a couple.
I think we did 3 when we spoke last time.
3, yeah. So the biggest
We've still
issue
got
I
another
now
3
have.
to play. We're going to be on 19 by the end of October.
Oh, really? I think your issue is going to be when you're doing this, and I've had to stop, is you get past a certain point, and I would say it's probably 25 or 30, where you're making your own list of your own top. Mate, it gets so tight and it gets so small, and it depends on the what. It's so hard to do, and that's where I do take my hats off to these top 100 panelists, because I think their criteria is not about feel, and I live my life. I'm a creative person, so I live my life through feel. So I can't really judge it on black and white because I work in color. So it's really difficult to do that. And when you're getting to trying to do your top 100 list and go, God, that one goes there, it's impossible, mate. Because
honestly,
the margins are so small.
Yeah, it's hard with 15, and I do think there's 2 courses where we've had a bad welcome. Not bad welcome, sorry. Bad welcome's too extreme, but we've had a I'm going to sound really German. We've had a suboptimal welcome, and we kind of just went, let's just set our day off wrong, and it took a lot for the course to recover that. It was all down to the golf on the golf course, which it did happen, I must say. But yeah, you don't want to be going off in a bad mood. But then also,
No, not at all.
kind of here to let people know about stuff like that, because if you're gonna, I mean, we're doing it, and we're taking 7 people over to Hollinwell. It's me and Chris who play up normally. The other lads who are playing,
I was going to say that, Lee. Have you played are you on the top 100 journey as well in terms of like ticking them off?
No, not at all. But just keen to jump in wherever I can and play some golf. To be honest, experience some new courses. But I do live right by Burnham and Barrow.
Oh right, great.
So yeah, when Nish comes down this way, we'll be doing that, and I'll be bringing them over to my local course here as well. But I do have a question for you both. You've obviously, Alex, you started your journey, what you said, 5 years ago?
Yeah, 2020, yeah.
And Nish, you're burning through the courses at a pretty rapid rate.
6 months.
What's the plan? What's the plans when courses jump on and off the top 100? Are you going to stick to your original 100, or are you going to adapt to anything that comes in that's new?
Well, it's one of the things it's why I chose one list. So I have to play that list. It doesn't matter if the courses come in or out. Hopefully they don't go to kaput, but I have to finish that list. There are definitely, and I had this question when I was talking to my mate from Sunningdale, going, "What do you want to see online? Do you want me to talk about like all of them?" He was like, "No, just the top 100 on your list." And I get that, but then there's golf courses weren't even around when I started. Like Dunbarney and St Patrick's weren't even, and I think both of them would probably have got in.
Yeah, we're playing Dunbarney actually in October.
Oh yeah, there you go. Naughty. Bit of whiskey on the front.
Yeah. Oh, you do. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Yeah.
JCB wasn't in. Like, so there's like a few there that I've got to go and I went and played, and I'm going to play them, and I'm going to showcase them because I think they either should be in, or I just think they're courses that people are interested in playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thing. I don't know what you're doing there.
Well, they're accessible as well, aren't they? Because Dunbarney, you can just contact them, or you can pay you.
Just throw money at the problem, as I say. Yeah.
High green fees. You can play it. You know what I mean? There's no like. It doesn't feel like there's a whole load of hoops you need to jump through to try and get on and whatever. So we had every intention to do exactly what you're doing, Alex, which was we took a snapshot at that time. It was August last year. We had the official top 100 website, UK and Ireland, and we were great, settled on that. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Then the new list came out, and there were 2 courses near us, and we went, fuck, we need to put them in. So we said, right, new tactic. We took out the courses that we sort of did the swap. And then we said, we will carry on. Now, we played a lot of courses in the bottom, so probably the 85 to 100. So as soon as one of those goes out, that freezes our list.
Okay.
at that point, because at that point we're then in the realms of playing more than 100, which we
Mate,
don't
but
want
the
to
way
do.
you're going, you're going to do it in less than that. So you're going to have to go and do those ones anyway.
Yeah, we're just I'm waiting to be sponsored by somebody so we can go and do the world list.
Well, someone asked me the other day, they're like, so what happens when you complete this? I went, well, you go and do the world list. They're like, yeah, but that's
Yeah,
almost impossible. And then I come out of my Augusta story. They went, all right, fair enough. Like
Oh
maybe it's not
shit! Yeah, maybe
impossible.
you can do it. Well, so interestingly enough, when we played Hindhead, we played with a couple of guys there, Andrew and Tony, legends. I must name check them again. They were absolutely brilliant hosts, and they reached out to us because they'd played Abu Dhabi, heard the podcast, and said, "Oh, it'd be good to compare stories." And it turns out the members of Hindhead invited us down, so we're playing with them, and they're on 65, I think now, and they
Wow.
played them together. So we said, genuine question. It was interesting because it was like looking in the future. There's two guys doing exactly what we're doing, and we said to them, "What do you?" Two questions. Number one, do you still get that tingle of excitement of playing a top 100 course? And they were like, "Absolutely yes." You're driving up to the course, to the clubhouse, and it's a new place. And I mean, I'm like that with a new golf course anyway. It could be the worst golf course in the world, but that drive up, you're always excited because you're playing golf anyway. But and they said you don't lose that, or we haven't lost that. And we played 65 courses and it's still there. And then I said, well, what are you going to do next? And they said, yeah, we started thinking about this now because they started 4 years ago and they're on 65.
Wow.
So they're really churning through it. They're both retired, so they've got the time to do it. So um, they said, and I thought this was a fascinating answer. They said, even though this list doesn't actually exist, you can probably work it out. They said they suspect that they're going to try and then play that list that are just outside that top 100. And you can use sometimes you can work it out. It's clubs that have either fallen out or they're on the England list and they're not on the general UK and Ireland list. And they said that they suspect that the experience of the golf, and that's everything included, is probably going to be better at those places than it is at some of the upper echelon golf courses because they almost aren't relying on the name to get people through it. It's like we've got to do this extra bit. We've got to make sure we're friendly with people. We've got to make sure that the pro is amazing when he comes in and really gets you excited about playing there. And I thought that was fascinating. But I was like, top 210 doesn't really have a ring to it.
No, it's
I'm
also,
not
mate,
sure how to do that.
also for you, like, and you and I are probably very similar where we like hyper fixate on something, want to do it to like the nth degree and go, right, we're going to go and do this. And I think, mate, at 5 years, I'm already at this point now where I'm going, okay, I've done 51. I don't want this to stop. Like, I don't want this to like be, I don't want to complete it because I think when I complete it, it's going to be reality to go, oh, okay. And look, you can go back and redo them. And I think that's why doing the reels has been really interesting for me because it's meant I've had to go back and look at a course in a different way. But I reckon I'm going to be really emotional when I finish it. And
100%.
almost like a purpose has been lost because this is like something that keeps me going. Like I came back from, I did St Andrews in July. While I'm in St Andrews, I've already basically sorted out the next trip. I literally came back from Ireland last week, and that's not my trip. I don't organise that. I give a little bit of advice, like where I think we should go next. But I've already organised like next year's one, and I came back in July, and it's now it's almost like can you beat the you're talking about the tingles. It's can you beat the tingles that you get when you go to Hollinwell? Because you'll go to Hollinwell and you'll go, this is unbelievable. This will be in your top 5 you've played, hands down.
Amazing. That's wonderful to hear.
For everything you've done, it will be in the top 5. And even me, as I said, I think this should probably go back in my top 10 because how good it is. But I'm not trying to. I'm looking at Machrihanish. Machrihanish is an island off of Scotland. There's 2 golf courses there. There's actually a third one called Dunverty or something, which is like a little 4,800. Then I'm building a trip going. And that's what I don't want to lose that. The thought of me building a trip and getting the boys excited. We've got a committee that we do for these boys trips and go, do you think we could do it? I don't want to lose that. I'm scared of finishing this because of that. And if you do the World Top 100, luckily with my work, I get invited to some lovely places. And I don't know when this comes out, but I'm going to America next Saturday. And there is a 85% chance that I'm playing LA Country Club. But it's like ones like that you can only do the top 100 world if you get invites to those sort of ones.
Yeah.
So it's not accessible. My mate Toby, who does the Rigid Mug that we go on, a great bunch of lads, and we do some unbelievable golf and stays. He lives in New York. We play Bally's out in New York, which is a great golf course to do if you ever get out there. But mate, golf in America is not accessible. To do what we're trying to do, you can't do that in America. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
That's why the boys over here, I went to Ireland, as I say, I got teamed up with 2 Americans on the second day at Ballybunion, and they were just like gobsmacked that they showed me their list. They'd done 6 courses in 7 days, and they were all our top hundreds. Unbelievable. And they were like, we just can't do this in the US. We can't do anything like this. We're playing country clubs that are a pile of shit and like municipal courses that are a pile of shit. Whereas you've got these links courses and you're playing courses where Tom Watson said that 7th is his favourite hole. I'm telling you now, I know your whole brand is top 10 and 10, that's 110. Just put a bit of that on it. Just don't finish it.
I love it. Put a bit of that on it. Excellent. Keir Starmer, I'd love you, mate. Keir Starmer, I'd absolutely love you. Do you know what? I think you're right. It's just, it's every day, every hour, at least once, I think about something time related. Like there's something. It's whether it's like, you might have irons in the fire, and it's like, I've got loads of emails out for stuff for next year, and we're trying to plan Ireland, and me and Lee have got a couple of things that we're planning on doing next year as well, and we've got 2 society trips that we want to plan, and they're actual trips away. They're like,
really? I saw that you were showing me the island list, right? Where you could do that.
Yeah. So we do that. So we're gonna do like that. We'll probably not do society for Ireland yet, but yes, certainly we'll do a couple of away trips. One of the courses might have been mentioned during this episode.
Okay, nice. Watch this space.
But just if I didn't have that, like I don't know what I'd do. I really don't. It's just so weird, isn't it? And literally 14 months ago, this thing didn't exist in my life.
I think that's the most beautiful thing about it, mate. And yeah, and you go and play Hollinwell, because we're going away from Hollinwell. It's supposed to be a preview podcast, but I think when you go to Hollinwell and you have the experience you do, and you play the golf course, you're going to play shit golf, play good golf. It really does not matter, because the journey that we're on is a completely different journey to someone who's just rocking up, going, yeah, this is decent, and trying to like play well. But I'm trying to take it all in at the same time, and like try and be present when I'm there to go, this is shit that me and you are getting excited about on a daily and stuff. And it's really special. And so in answer to the question, I don't know what we're going to do, mate. I don't know
what we're going to do. Yeah, I know. Shit. We're going to have to like do group therapy or something somewhere, aren't we? It's all
I think the closest I've got to feeling this volume of excitement is watching a really good TV series 8 seasons in and thinking I'm not watching the last episode because it's going to end and now I've got nothing lined up.
Yeah, just going to cry.
You 2 are doing and living the dream, but...
Well, I told you last time, one of the reasons why I did this, my grandpa told me a story about the old boy at St Andrews, right? Yeah, that's the reason. And Lee just...
I feel it was worth repeating that, Alex, to be honest. It was a wonderful story because Lee probably...
So the story goes that an old boy chose a list in like 1958. Like a list didn't really exist then, so it can't... I don't know when it was. And he played every single one of these, and he wanted to leave St Andrews as his last one to play. So he goes up to St Andrews. Having just done it, it is magical. Like it's weird. It is a weird place to go to. Like it is, eerie. And he left St Andrews. He went with his 2 boys. The boys I think they're staying at either Russex or the St Andrews Hotel. They tell the guys that this is my dad's. He's like in his 80s now. And unbeknownst to him, he's playing it. And as he gets up to the 18th hole, the whole hotel have all come out and they're all clapping him up the 18th. And I get goosebumps every time I think about it. And now having been there, I'm like, my grandpa told me it's the clubhouse. I was like, it definitely wasn't the fucking clubhouse, because the clubhouse is like straight down the road. So as we said about don't let the truth get away with a good story.
Yeah.
I don't know where these motherfuckers were, but they were not in the clubhouse, because that is miles away. I'm going to say they were probably at
horse railing.
Yeah, they're probably at Russex, and they might have just been pissed up at the Dunvecchia. I don't know, but they weren't.
The pub out.
Yeah. So, but that's why I chose it. I was like, that does sound pretty good. And we almost got on St Andrews Old Course this year because we went through the ballot. And I was gutted because I was turned 40 this year. I was like, I wanted to play my 40th year. But you know what? I don't know, mate. I might keep it as my last one. I might do it.
Mate, I mean, it's a holy grail, isn't it?
Yeah.
St. Andrews. Right, okay.
Sorry, we have been on this a long time. Sorry.
No, don't you worry about that. Let me bring Harves back into the fold. I'm so sorry, mate. You just had to listen to us
Sorry,
wax
dude.
lyrical about top 100 courses. But Harves, we're going to start off by talking about the signature hole challenge. So, can you tell us what the signature hole is? And obviously, Jim has sent you this, so it might not necessarily be the actual signature hole.
I think he's got it right.
Has he? Right, go on then.
We've got the signature hole as being hole 18 back
Hole
to the
18.
clubhouse.
Oh, now left,
Oh,
right
wow,
to
really?
the end. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So yeah, par 4, 18th. It's just going to be your net score for that. And I've got the hole up in front of me now. We were talking about it earlier, but because Alex, you mentioned about there being some water. It's kind of 30, 40 yards short left of the green. But there's 7 bunkers dotted up the fairway and just surrounding the green on the 18th as well. And it does look really challenging.
I'm going to put it out there. I think I've got this in the bag. What's the stroke index? I mean, I'm going to get shot on Chris anyway, but what's the stroke index? Do I?
We're yellows, aren't we?
Yellows, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
stroke
make it
index
harder.
6.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got this in the bag.
Stroke index 6.
It's interesting, that, isn't it?
Wow.
What do you think it's not as difficult as that?
I think you'd definitely get a. I'm not talking about you, but I think you walk away with a bogey and you're not that upset. But I don't think it's stroke index. I think stroke index 6 is low. Are you playing it off the yellows as well?
We're playing with the yellows, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to make. We want to walk off that golf course and go, we've had a good day, not like we're being brutalised and everyone's lost a load of golf balls and they're
Well, you mentioned the 13th earlier.
Throwing me shade in the minibus on the way home.
I'm surprised 13th is. I'm surprised 11 or 13 is not the signature hole. I've got to say.
Well, you mentioned 13 earlier, and just for a bit of fun, I decided to post on the group chat saying, bloody hell, the 13th is 240-yard long par 3. So everyone's shitting themselves going, I'm going to have to take driver off the tee. Oh, my God. And then pointed out to them once they'd all had their panic attacks that that's if you're playing off the tip. So it's not quite that bad.
Yeah, I think, and it plays, I don't know what it plays downhill. I think we played off the whites. I think we would have played off the whites, the boys we were playing with. It was spring, and I think I hit a 6-iron, and the pin was at the back, so I probably hit it to the middle. So that's a long hole from I don't know what it is off the whites, Lee. I don't know if it's got it up there, but it's so downhill that you're basically, I think it's like playing 30 down.
Yeah, it's 198.
Yeah, okay, so it's playing 25 down, probably.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't wait. I love all that sort of stuff. Like we just did the 7th at Hankley Common, and that was an amazing par 3. We had a couple of cracking golf shots on that. Right, so that's a signature hole. I mean, yeah, it's an advantage niche, I think. Chris is usually knackered by hole 18. Right, he's great. I can say whatever I want about him. He's not here. Now, then we'd also do a side bet. So this is basically, Jim has plenty of warning about this because we do this every fucking episode, but he always tries to think of it on the fly when he's doing it. So luckily he sent it to Harb, so we've got a bit of an idea of what the side bet actually is. So what has he set as the side bet?
So you are going to be doing your net score over the 3 par 5s, and the loser buys the drinks.
Oh, has he spent right? Okay, now Chris is a proper pedant with the rules here. So what drinks? That's what I'm interested in. So like what drinks when? Is there like a set closed period or like?
I'm going to help Jim out here and say it's drinks for everyone.
Oh,
is what I think he means.
Right.
Drinks for the whole group.
Do you know what? We might have to make sure we're not in the same group here because it'd be interesting to bring that all out later, wouldn't it? Like who's shot what, or see it on our Squabbit app sponsors, our Squabbit app, and just find out who's doing what. So it's 3 par 5s, and it's the lowest net score on that, is it?
Yeah.
That's a 50 quid tab. That's a 50 quid tab.
Interesting.
Yeah, nothing for these boys. They won't mind that.
Chris must have chucked a 5 Jim's way for that one. That's a tough one because Chris is a long hitter. So yeah, advantage Chris on that one. Shit, there's money on that one as well. All right, okay. Sharpen up. I think there's 2 par 5s in the front 9 as well, isn't there? So
yes, 3 and 3 and 6.
Yeah, you know it early on whether you're in the game or not.
Nish, you're not worried about a par 5. I've got you on video at the last round, striking your driver 280 down the middle,
Yeah.
and then finding the green with your second.
Pretty much since that round, me and my driver have not been the best of friends. I think that I think everybody probably says that at some point, don't they? Wonderful. Well, thank you, Lee. That's yeah, that's. I think we've got. I think it's one each on those. I think Chris is probably going to get a side bet, but it's the signature hole that goes on the website, and that's the one that really matters. You know, and you're all my mates, so I'll gladly buy you a drink. It just doesn't have to be alcoholic. That's all. Yeah. So, guys, that was absolutely wonderful. Alex, thank you for your time. I know
Loved it.
you're a busy guy, and it's always fun chatting top 100 stuff with you anyway. And you've heightened my excitement for playing this golf course. I was already, bang up for it with the way it's all been set up and 7 of us heading down on the fun bus. But yeah, I mean, some of those, the picture you painted for us and some of those holes has been absolutely wonderful. So thank you for coming on.
No worries at all. Yeah, enjoy it, lads, because you're gonna. It's a real treat.